Welcome to our session, Is OpenAthens for You? I am Denise Garofalo, a librarian at Mount St. Mary College in Newburgh, New York. I've been here since 2008, working in systems and catalog services. And this is my co-presenter.
Hi, Nancy Grimaldi with EBSCO. I'm the New York Academic Regional Sales Manager, and I've been with EBSCO since 2006.
In April 2020, Mount St. Mary College began our implementation of OpenAthens, a fully hosted and supported, secure, single sign-on solution to replace our WAM authentication system. During this session, we will discuss the process of evaluating, selecting, and implementing OpenAthens and key benefits realized by both the library staff and the user experience.
And I'll begin by just sharing a little bit about what OpenAthens is. So it is a secure single sign-on service. It is also an identity and access management tool, provides a username and password system for logging into digital resources. Primarily, most institutions are using existing accounts, but you can also create accounts in OpenAthens. It's an access management tool that allows librarians to say who can access what. It supports secure access and uses SAML 2.0, which transmits user data securely. And I think most importantly, it's fully hosted and secure cloud-based service. So there's no need for subscribers to host, and we provide 24/7 customer support. OpenAthens it serves a lot of needs for academic libraries. Some of the top concerns are less reliance on IT, less reliance on maintaining stanzas, focus on personalization of personalized access, and then also subscription management. As we're more and more digital, all of those subscriptions can be administered in a single dashboard. Some other concerns from libraries are the ability to manage group access, to adhere to licensing and preserve budget, reporting, being able to get better visibility into what is being used, and looking at cost per use, increased emphasis on security and user privacy. And Denise, could you take us back to when you first became interested in OpenAthens?
Our interest in OpenAthens grew out of our frustration with remote authentication setup. We have innovative interfaces Sierra system for our integrated library management system. Sierra has WAM, or Web Access Management, for remote authentication, and a single sign-on service too. As more content providers moved to the more secure HTTPS protocol, we learned that WAM did not work well with single sign-on and HTTPS, and that Innovative didn't really plan to change that immediately.
Could you tell us more about some of the pain points you had at the time and what it was about OpenAthens that you found most compelling? And as you're describing that, I'll share some screenshots you had shared with me of what your researchers experienced.
Okay. Yes, one of the most frustrating issues was when our users would click on a link to a database from our library website or our libguides and see security messages from their browsers that said the site was a security risk. This was due to WAM having HTTP for the URL that was redirecting to access the site. We saw our database usage go down because most users who see a message that says this site is unsecure or this connection is untrusted, they just stop and go elsewhere. We really felt we needed an authentication platform that would eliminate such barriers and allow our users to have seamless access to database and other library resources, as well as integrate with our campus technology infrastructure. OpenAthens looked like it could do both.
And as I recall, you initially joined a webinar to learn more about OpenAthens, and then you reached out to your IT folks to have them look at how this might work in connecting to a directory. Can you talk about that process?
Yes, I was investigating our alternatives to WAM, which really came down to EZ Proxy and OpenAthens. I was leaning towards a hosted service, and after attending an OpenAthens webinar in late 2018 and really liking what I saw, we hit a hurdle with our campus IT folks. Campus IT was incredibly aware of the problems we were encountering with WAM, and they were very encouraged that a move to OpenAthens would address these problems. They were impressed that OpenAthens was using SAML, or Security Assertion Markup Language, the standard that covers federation, identity management, and single sign-on. But our campus infrastructure needed a little updating to allow us to use OpenAthens. Once that campus situation was addressed by IT, we could start making a change to OpenAthens.
And once you decided to move forward with OpenAthens, can you share the process for setting up?
Okay. After the contract was signed with EBSCO in January 2020, we started an OpenAthens implementation group of library staff. We wanted to include perspectives of databases and instruction, interlibrary loan, database statistics and management, and systems. This group of 4 staff plus myself worked with EPOP, which is EBSCO's project orientation program, and an implementation project manager. Late March 2020 was really when the work began, just as the pandemic was getting busy too. So all of our implementation was conducted while the campus was closed, and we were working remotely. Also, during this time, there were staffing cutbacks at the college. The library layoffs didn't directly impact our implementation group, but it did affect the folks in campus IT. We originally had planned for a late May 2020 go live date for OpenAthens. We completed a questionnaire and a spreadsheet with all of our database subscriptions, our online journal subscriptions, and so on by mid-April. In the background, our campus IT was implementing ADFS, Active Directory Federation Services. In April, we hit a snag due in part to the campus layoffs, and the AFDS project had issues, and our OpenAthens implementation paused. By early June, campus IT had worked out their issues, so we could move OpenAthens along again and work towards a go live date of July 23rd, 2020. We formally submitted the questionnaire, and then EBSCO went to work. They got all that information into OpenAthens. EBSCO handled contacting most of the vendors. There were a few vendors that would only work with their customer, the library, and then we contacted those. After this background work was done, EBSCO sent us Athenized URLs for all our databases, and we tested those. The only hiccup we had was due to a little miscommunication regarding EGS content, or EBSCO Journal Service. These got overlooked by both us at the Mount and EBSCO. But once we realized this misstep, we worked with EBSCO to get those set and tested. And best news was we met our go live date.
Wonderful. And I'll actually share a couple of screen slides now, how we've formalized that implementation process. We begin with a kickoff and bring all the different teams, librarians, IT together. to go over what the process looks like and really to engage each member and what their role will be. So begin by gathering a list of the subscriptions, details to establish the connection. We provide documentation to make you aware. And then these are really the steps similar to what you described, Denise: gathering information. There's a questionnaire, vendor contact. EBSCO tries to do most of the heavy lifting in terms of getting that all set up. But as you described, there may be some instances where you need to contact the vendor directly. And then setting up the accounts, just depending on how that connection is set up. There's a testing. You at the library choose the go live date. There's the go live, and then following that, user testing, any tweaking that needs to be done before the post follow-up go live. So we try to make that process as easy as possible. So Denise, could you tell us what components of OpenAthens dashboard that you find most helpful?
Honestly, the whole dashboard is very easy to use, both to see about adding new resources or to view the statistics. And having statistics from OpenAthens is really great, as the statistics we got from WAM were not very easy to compile. And the graphical representation of usage that OpenAthens provides is welcome. Since we're still pretty new to OpenAthens and we don't have a lot of experience, nor do we have a lot of usage data yet, but I did enjoy gathering statistics for my annual report, something I didn't think I'd ever say with WAM.
And I'll actually share some of the other reporting and what stories they can tell for your library. So you can look at user activity in terms of successful access or failed logins, total versus unique logins. You can look at all your resources in a single dashboard and look at the usage by a platform, by the total logins. You can look at a breakdown of reports based on permission sets. Some of the other reporting, just depending on your library or libraries, you can look at different attributes. If you have multiple locations or departments, you can look at user level reporting and maybe how that compares with academic outcomes. There are some new features that have just been released fairly recently with OpenAthens, and that's an API to connect with any analytics applications. So that's just a little bit about reporting. And I also do have some slides that are FAQs that are commonly asked about OpenAthens. So here we're looking at some of the top providers and platforms that are all within the federation that provides SAML access. Some of the questions that often come up is, what if a provider, whether it's a small society or the provider is not within a SAML federation? So OpenAthens does also provide IP access. So for those users that are not currently using SAML, you do have the ability to authenticate via IP. What will change for the end user? One of the key benefits for the end user is really streamlining that user experience. There is an option to personalize with single sign-on, but there's no need to remember more than one account. You can log in from anywhere using any device. It's a consistent access point, and then that seamless single sign-on experience. You can also, OpenAthens has the ability to identify any misuse. What will change for administrators? Really bringing more power to the library, not having to rely on other departments. You have one dashboard where you can administer if you're adding a new resource You manage permission-based rules to determine who can access. You have all those analytics for all your platforms in a single dashboard. And security. So I mentioned this earlier. If there is any misuse, you can identify at the user level instead of all your users potentially being shut down from accessing resources. So the ability to create and manage user accounts is also a part of the OpenAthens dashboard. If you have a visiting guest and you want to provide access for the day or the month, you can do that right from within the dashboard and provide immediate access. Some other FAQs, different ways to connect with OpenAthens. I think most academic libraries are using a local directory that they connect to, but there are other options within open access with OpenAthens for bulk upload or self-registration. Questions about data security. So libraries have control about what information is released. OpenAthens does not require sharing of any personal identifiable information in order to authenticate and personalize the end user. And attributes shared with OpenAthens can be customized to fulfill specific user groups and reporting needs. So that is something that your library determines and works with the OpenAthens team. OpenAthens can also be connected to other resources that are used in the library. So you can power logins into any subscription tool. You can connect with your LMS, with your catalog, with your ILL. I'm not sharing the screenshots here, but if you're interested in more information about what OpenAthens can provide, I would urge you to reach out to your EBSCO representative, or feel free to send me an email at ngrimaldi@ebsco.com. And in closing, Denise, could you share benefits OpenAthens has provided to you, to your IT, and your users?
Yes, the main reason we moved to OpenAthens was to improve the user experience, and we did. We have not had a report of users seeing a browser security message due to database authentication since July 2020. Campus IT is pleased, as they are not seeing users with that issue either. For me, I don't have to spend a lot of time puzzling through issues. If I have something go wrong, I contact EBSCO for support, and they work with me to resolve any issues. So, really, we are thoroughly pleased with our move to OpenAthens, and we'd make the move again.
Terrific. Well, thank you for sharing your experience. I'm really happy that you are up and running with OpenAthens and that it really has improved the user experience at the Mount. And again, if anyone has questions on OpenAthens, if you'd like to join an online demo and learn more about how it might work at your library, reach out to your EBSCO representative, or feel free to reach out to me at ngrimaldi@ebsco.com. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.